4 SEC games postponed due to COVID-19. It's got some people in the media calling for us to actually cancel the rest of the season. I've absolutely got some definite thoughts on that. Also, in the NBA, Russell Westbrook and James Harden may be on their way out the door. I'm going to tell you why this is probably the best move for the Houston Rockets, and it's time to rebuild. Lastly, we've got an incredible story, one of the best stories in sports ever. And it involves an athlete I guarantee you've probably never heard of, but you've heard of us here in the first round. It's the show that helps you be smarter than your friends when it comes to sports. Let's start the show.
You're tuned in to the hottest sports analysis of the week with your hosts Ron Dolbeck and Chris Roberts. And now, here's the first round.
Hey, it's Zach, Chris, and Ron. You found us in the first round. We're glad you're here. It is a jam-packed show. Let's get right to the top of it. And the biggest and best stories out there right now, it's got to start in one place. How about an athlete that I guarantee you've never heard of, Chris Nikitch? Does that ring a bell to anybody? I'm guessing it might not. He's a 21-year-old who suffers from Down syndrome, who actually not only competed in a triathlon. Think about that. He competed and completed the whole triathlon, 21 years old, 2.4 mile swim, 112 miles on a bike. And if that hasn't got you exhausted, what you've got ahead of you to finish the race is over 26 miles of running. This guy got it done in 16 hours. I think it's an incredible story. Chris and I are going to share that with you tonight. Let's go on to the NFL. As the season for the Jets continues to stink, there's more to talk about than just their 0-9 start on the season. How about trading their quarterback, Sam Darnold? There's a lot of teams that are interested in it. They might move him out and bring in Trevor Lawrence. Chris and I have opinions on that. Big games to watch for in the NFL this weekend. How about San Francisco going on the road to New Orleans? I think that's a monster game that San Francisco at this point in the season has got to win. Tampa Bay, coming off getting bombed by New Orleans, goes on the road to Carolina. I think that's going to be a tough matchup. Also, Monday Night Football, a game that has a lot of star power to it. Minnesota goes on the road to Chicago. I think these are, again, two evenly matched teams. I think that's a game to watch out for. How about in college football? The number 22 team in the country, the Liberty Flames, 7-0. They do a great move this weekend. Extend the contract of head coach Hugh Freeze after getting them off to a 7-0 start. He'll be there until 2026, coming off what is a massive win on the road at Virginia Tech. If you didn't see that last weekend, it was a last-second field goal that was blocked. Virginia Tech runs it back, but they had called time out. So they have to go back. On fourth down, they get 5 more yards. They come back, kick a 53-yard field goal, and win the game. Big win in Blacksburg for Liberty. That's why they're ranked 22nd in the country. FSU season continues to go in the wrong direction. The Seminoles lose 4 key players for the rest of the season, including offensive lineman Devontae Love-Turner, defensive lineman Marvin Wilson, standout wide receiver Tamarion Terry, and head coach Mike Norvell announces today, also confirmed out for the rest of the season, backup quarterback James Blackman will transfer to the end of the season. I'd like to say thanks and good luck. We wish James all the best in his future team, which will be the Ohio Wesleyan Battling Bishops. That's about where he's going to end up. LSU quarterback Les Brennan will miss the rest of the season, according to head coach Ed Orgeron. Cited hip issues that are ongoing, possible surgery in his future. LSU will go on with freshman quarterback TJ Finley for the rest of the way. Big games in college football starting tonight on Thursday. Colorado State goes on the road to Boise. Again, not a big star-studded lineup in that, but I think they're two evenly matched teams. It's one I'm going to want to watch. Other big games coming up this weekend. Iowa goes on the road to Minnesota. I'll be watching out for that one. Saturday, Miami goes to Blacksburg and takes on Virginia Tech. Number 13, Wisconsin is somehow a 4-point underdog at Michigan. Somebody knows something I don't know. Number 2, Notre Dame coming off a big win without Trevor Lawrence and playing at home on primetime. Beat Clemson. This week they go to BC. I think that's going to be more of a challenge than the experts think. USC starts their Pac-12 road conference. They're going on the road to take on Arizona. This is my big lock of the week. I've got 9 million reasons why USC is going to get it done. I'm going to share 5 of them with you. Other things going on in the world of sports. Tom Brady and Ben Roethlisberger saying this could break a very old NFL record this weekend. I'm going to tell you what it is in the middle of the show. How about NBA news? Isaiah Thomas comes out on Shannon Sharp's podcast this week and talks about the 5 toughest players he ever faced. You're going to want to hear who is at number 5 and who those 5 players are. Chris and I will get into that. Boxing, Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. finally, after being rescheduled from September 12th to November 28th, are ready to get it on in the ring. It's going to be 8 rounds. It's going to be on pay-per-view. Tyson is 54 years old. Roy Jones is 51. Tyson hasn't been in the ring since 2005. Chris and I will have opinions on that. College hoops. The Mohegan Sun Casino and Resort in Connecticut is going to host what they're calling Bubbleville. It's their version of the NBA playoffs. 40 teams, 40 games over an 11-day period from November 25th to December 5th. They're going to be hosting teams like Virginia, UF, Arizona State, Villanova, and Baylor. I'm going to be watching out for that. And also, the NBA comes out being sponsored by Rock Nation, Jay-Z's agency company, and announces the Pepsi halftime show talent for Super Bowl 55 in Tampa. It's going to be The Weeknd performing. He's going to be the headliner for that. That is everything going on in the world of sports. Chris, what stands out to you about that?
Whew. Oh, man. Some of everything, really, Ron. I think what really stands out to me right now is getting back to college football and seeing if we're going to have a complete season, actually.
I think we're going to have a complete season. We've missed 55 games of college football that have either been postponed and remade up at a later date or set to be remade up, or they've been canceled because of COVID. Now, if I could say to you, you're going to have normally, 50 games on a weekend. 20 of them are going to be televised, but every weekend we're going to take 4 games off that schedule, but you'll still get college football. Wouldn't you take it?
I take it, but I mean, you're missing out on stuff like Alabama and LSU. I mean, those are the games you want to see.
You do, and you're going to get that. You're going to get, some missed games. Some of those are going to be big games that we want to see. But if the option is not to have college football at all, isn't that going? You're throwing out the baby with the bathwater to me.
I mean, I'll take it. I mean, even if it was, Cornell versus Harvard. I don't care as long as it's football.
I'm not going that low.
Yeah,
I'm not going that low. I don't know if it was the first week of college football and I hadn't seen football in a couple months, I might be able to dip my toe in that pool. But Cornell, Harvard, you really went to the bottom of the barrel on that one.
Say it, man. It's football.
It is football. I'd rather have something rather than nothing. But I want to get started on tonight's show with the best story I've seen in sports in a long time. 21-year-old Chris Nikitch becomes the first athlete with Down syndrome to complete. This kid's only 21 years old. He's got Down syndrome. He didn't just compete. He completed the Florida Ironman, which to me is amazing. Yeah. I mean, again, 2.4 miles swim, 112 miles on a bike, 26.2 miles running. Now, how many 21-year-olds, whether they have Down syndrome or not, are in shape to get that done? He's been doing 4 to 8 hours training for the last 5 months, and you could follow him on Twitter. I wanted to put this out there. It's Chris Nikitch. His last name is N-I-C, or N-I-K-I-C. So it's just at Chris Nikitch on Twitter. I think this kid's a great follow. Besides that, and I'm not even going into this section of it yet, he's also a motivational speaker, but his whole time in training, they had T-shirts made up that said 1%. Did you know what that stood for?
I've seen it, but no. What?
He wants to become 1% better every single day.
Okay.
And I think that that's a great motto because it's measurable.
Right.
It's also reasonable. But after 100 days, you've changed 100% of who you are. And that being a goal is a great thing, especially for somebody who's got the challenges that he has. But again, how many 21-year-olds do you know that could do the 2.4 mile swim, 112 miles on the bike, and over 26 miles running, and they don't have Down syndrome? And he got in shape and did it. He completed it. It took him 16 hours, 46 minutes and 9 seconds. He's from Maitland, Florida. I have nothing but good things to say about this kid. Get out there and Google this kid. Give him some love on Twitter. I think it's an amazing story.
I think it's an amazing story too. I mean, and just from following up on the story and just reading it, he was actually doing it to raise awareness and raise money for the Special Olympics. I mean, due to certain things or certain things that's going on, there was funding cutting for Special Olympics, and the fact that he's actually doing that on his own to raise money and raise awareness, I think that's very big of him as well.
Yeah, so I watched some of his motivational speeches, and what he gets up there and says to kids that don't have Down syndrome is, don't be limited. That was one of the motivations that he had to even get in and do this, and the guy actually finished it. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, for being the age that I am, which is about 30, I know I shaved about 20 years off there. I'm in fairly good shape for your average person in my age group. I have most of my hair. I'm in pretty good shape. I would be gassed just after the swim.
Right.
This guy went another 112 miles on the bike, and he had a little accident, and then he did a 26-mile run, which I'm telling you right now would take me 16 hours to finish.
Yeah, I mean, me too. The crazy thing about it is, I mean, like you said, he had a spill. I mean, most people would have, after that spill, I mean, because he fell into some ants, would have just, I'm done. I'm giving up.
Fire ants.
I mean, yeah. Fire ants. And the kid got back up and completed it. That's determination. I mean, that's determination. If you don't see it, I mean, that's motivation for anybody and everybody out there. You can do anything if you put your mind to it.
I think it's absolutely amazing. I think it's one of the best stories that we've had a chance to talk about here in the first round in a long time. I'm telling you, man, go Google this guy. Follow him on Twitter. It's not that we would appreciate it, but it's just inspiring. Even to listen to his motivational speeches, I just think it's one of the best things in sports. We had to start the show with that, but now let's move on to college football. You're right. Some college football is better than no college football. This is kind of a lackluster weekend, and I'm going to tell you the two reasons why I think so. First of all, it's a dip and a lull in the college football weekend when College Game Day isn't even at a game. Do you know where they're at this week?
The Masters.
They're at the Masters. That's a stretch because you look at the schedule and you go, no. Okay, one ranked team, but they're 19. They're playing a directional school. No. Oh, okay, all right. National Monuments, Lady Gaga's living room. Where can we do the show? The Masters. It's just weird. I mean, this is just so 2020, right? The Masters is happening in November.
Yeah.
A week and a half or a week before Thanksgiving. That's just weird by itself. I don't know, man. I'm starting to lose it on College Game Day. It took a notch down when Chris Fowler left, and I love Reese Davis, but Lee Corso isn't there the whole show, and now they're doing it from the Masters. Am I crazy?
Well, like you said, there's no big games or anything to do with that. I mean, had it been,
they could have gone to Michigan, Wisconsin. Conference game, Wisconsin's ranked 13th.
I'm pretty sure they rather been, to the Alabama LSU game, because that's the real rivalry.
Right.
So, I mean, and they probably were planning to go there until, it just, decided to not happen due to COVID.
Yeah. Before we get into the big games this weekend, I wanted to talk with Chris about our top 10. You want to go first or give me yours? Or you can go 1 through 10 or 1 through 7, whatever you want to do, and then I'll give you mine.
Oh, it doesn't matter. We can do it.
Okay, I'll go backwards. At number 10, I've got Miami. They're a little schizophrenic. They're not solid. I can't count on them.
Right.
I'm going to say they're awesome offense, but defense, sometimes I don't know what I'm going to get. They had a bad game at home against Virginia. You could say it was raining, but I'm going to say they're inconsistent. Number 9, Indiana. They haven't been beat yet, but they haven't played a lot of games. So it's hard to throw some of these teams in there. Like I wanted to throw Oregon in there, but Oregon's played one game.
Yeah.
So the sample size is super small, and it's really hard for me to put teams a lot higher when I really don't know what they're made up of yet. Number 8. When was the last time we said BYU in the top 10?
Oh, good.
1984?
Ty
Detmer. Had to be back then. I've got BYU at 8. I've got Cincinnati and the Fighting Luke Fickinators at number 7, and they just happen to be 7-0. Number 6, my mighty Florida Gators. I took their helmet down. I would take it down on a week when we crushed Georgia. Some people in Twitterville know what I'm talking about. One guy doesn't want to pay off his bet. He's about to get blocked. bombed Georgia. Number 6, doing awesome. I think they got a Heisman contender at quarterback. Number 5 has to be number 5 for Texas A&M because they beat Florida, be it by a field goal, but that's fine. I've got at number 4 Notre Dame. I'm not going to get into completely why right now, but they won a quality game against a good Clemson team, but it was at home on primetime without Trevor Lawrence, and it took them overtime to do it.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that they're better than Clemson, because how I look at it is if they play 10 times on a neutral site, how many does Clemson win? If it's more than 5, Clemson's a better team than Notre Dame. That's why I've got Clemson at number 3. Number 2, I've got at Ohio State at number 2. Solid. Again, small sample size, but it's enough there with the coaching, with the quarterback, and the skill position players that they have coming back from last year for me to be confident in putting them number 2. Number 1, I've got Alabama.
I agree with you on all of your picks except for A&M and Florida. I actually flipped them simply because Florida has, it comes down to me, a tougher strength of schedule. And
but they played to each other.
I know, but to me, that game was it was like they was won by like a field goal. So,
right.
So to me, if they play again 10 times out of 10,
it's 6-4 Florida.
Florida, exactly.
How good did the Florida Gators look last week up in Jacksonville against the number 3 defense? Listen, here's the stat of the week. Florida plays the number 4 defense, number 4 in the country overall in Georgia. Kyle Trask put up over 435 yards on that defense. Yeah. You ready for this? Yeah. In 3 quarters. Yeah. In 3 quarters, he put up over 400 yards passing. Another freak stat. The team that rushes for the most yards wins that game the last 16 years, pretty much. Mm-hmm. Didn't happen this year. Georgia ended up rushing, Zaire White, first play of the game, 75 yards, touchdown. They rushed for more yards than Florida and end up getting absolutely bombed. That score, they won by 12 or 13 points. It wasn't even that close. And all you Georgia fans out there know it. I was super impressed with Florida.
I mean, yeah, you look at what Kyle Trask is able to do, regardless to finding his receivers and manipulating the actual defenses, actually reading the defenses, which is something that Florida hasn't had a quarterback that's able to do that since probably Chris Leak. So, I mean, the fact that you have a guy who's able to be mobile when you need him to be, he's accurate when you need him to be, and Florida has the receivers on the outside, even though their running game is kind of suspect right now, they have to get that running, get that going. But, the fact that you have a guy that's just that good, I mean, I can see them going to the SEC championship to face those old St. Nick.
Alabama, they're going to get the big gray elephant in Atlanta if we even get to that point and have a season, which brings me to my next point. Who are these people in the media calling to cancel the season essentially halfway through it? The MAC just had a successful comeback. Everybody on their schedule ended up playing. The Pac-12 is locked and loaded and ready to go for week 2. And we have 8 games out of a possible, 60 games, and 8 of them are being postponed or canceled. And then you get these naysayers and negative people out there that are saying we should. Now, I'm not going to say who it is. You could go on the internet in 3 nanoseconds, find out who the dummies are, who say we have to cancel the whole season because of what? I mean, again, this goes back to the conversation we had at the beginning of the season, Chris. We've actually played for 18 years with 35 or over 20 student athletes dying from heat exposure, something that's completely fixable. We know everything about it, and we keep playing. Right. Not one player has died from COVID, and yet we have some of these people out there that say, well, we got to cancel the season.
Well, I mean, I agree with you,
right.
That, we've had more people die from heat exhaustion than COVID. But I guess, right now, since COVID is like the
hot topic,
it's the hot topic. Yeah, as you can say. Well, I don't want to minimize it by saying it's a hot topic.
It's a serious thing.
It's serious, and the fact you're dealing with college students or whatnot, and the fact that you're in a super spreader type atmosphere with over 20,000 people in the stands now.
Yeah.
And so I guess it comes down to again being a liability issue that that the colleges and universities want to avoid.
If it's a health issue, I'm going to understand that, and I need to have more stats than I have right now in front of me to overturn my opinion that we should keep playing. Because right now, I think the positive, with no deaths and nothing serious happening so far outweighs the possible negatives. if it's a money issue and it's these universities again saying, we don't want to be the first one to have some parent sue us, you could take that and go scratch. I don't want to hear any of that. I think that is regressive thinking. And when you're driven by money and you start following the money hole, how many times, not only in sports, do in life, when you follow the money trail, it only leads to a dirty, filthy, nasty, characterless, moralless, black hole of death.
Yeah.
I don't want to go down that hole.
Well, I mean, it also can go the opposite way, too. I mean, you know, people could also say, well, you're chasing this money, so therefore you are willing to put these players or put other people at risk. So you have to look at it that way as well.
These colleges are getting dinged on the money. They're still traveling. They're still paying the coaches. They're still paying to feed all these kids. They're getting dinged on the financial end to make sure that we have college football. The attendance is down. That means that the ratings are going to be, they might be the same, but I think they might be a little bit down because some of the premier players aren't playing. Therefore, merchandise numbers are going to be down. The concessions numbers are going to be down. Parking numbers are going to be down. All those avenues of generating money are all going to be down, and the colleges are finding a way to make it happen. So if this is a money grab issue, then I'm not going to have that discussion. If you come out and show me facts and say, okay, health people that know what they're talking about say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, these are all good reasons why we shouldn't do it, then we can start having a conversation. That's all I'm saying. If it's a money grab, I'm just walk out the door now.
And I think, for the most part, they are listening to the experts in regards to.
And I think it's going smooth so far.
It's going smooth, but I think a lot of times too, even though we're talking about finances, I think a lot of what these schools are doing by actually having people come into the stands is actually for funding to keep some of these other programs open.
Yeah, and that might be the case. Speaking of keeping things open, let's talk about the games that are big on the weekend. I think it's going to start with, oh man. Well, first of all, we lost Georgia, Missouri. We lost Bama, LSU. We lost Ohio State versus Maryland, which I was legitimately interested in because 2 years ago, Ohio State escaped Maryland last play of the game. Texas A&M and Tennessee won't be playing. East Carolina goes on the road to number 7 Cincinnati. They're a 27.5-point favorite. I'm taking East Carolina on a teaser on this one. I love what Cincinnati's doing. They're undefeated. Luke Fickell is a great coach. He has nothing but character surrounding everything he's ever touched. But I'm taking East Carolina with their offense. And 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. I'm taking 33.5 points, and I'm taking Eastern Carolina to keep it closer than 33.
I'll go with that. I can go with that. I mean, I think East Carolina offensively, they probably give Cincinnati a little bit of problems, but I think Cincinnati's defense is just what's going to actually eat them up at the end.
I think Cincinnati walks out of Nipper Stadium with the win, but I think East Carolina keeps it close. Indiana going on the road to Lansing, Michigan to take on Sparty. Indiana in this one, they're solid. They're undefeated. Again, small sample size, only 3 games. Michigan State comes out and looks on fire against Michigan. Then they go bipolar last week and can't put one foot in front of the other, get blown out at Iowa. Now they go home. I don't know what I'm getting. I like Indiana to get the win, but I don't have a pick in this one as far as the point spread goes.
I like Indiana to get the win in this. I mean, I like the fact that Indiana is able to run the ball and pass the ball now. So that's going to be an interesting game, but I take Indiana in that win as well.
That's a high noon kickoff. Also starting at 12 o'clock, Miami goes on the road to Blacksburg to take on a Virginia Tech team that just got beaten at home by my Liberty Flames, ranked 22nd in the country. I love this game. I'm taking Miami. They're a 4-point favorite. This is part of my teaser package. I'm teasing this one down. I'm taking Miami +2 on the road at Virginia Tech. I think their offense and Derek King is powerful. I think their defense will play solid. It's going to be a close game. If it's a close game and it's on the road and I can get 2 points and I got Miami, I'm taking Miami's offense.
Yeah, again, I tease it down to 3 points. I think it's going to come down to a field goal in that game. I like what Miami's doing. Offensively, I think Derek King has actually proven that he can consistently throw the ball last week and actually make the offense actually run well. So I think Miami win that game as well.
Okay, question for either of you guys. I'm going to say a name. Tell me anything you know about this person. Keenan Slovic.
Nothing.
Keenan Slovic, quarterback from USC.
There you go. 4th string quarterback last year because of some injuries, some attitudes, and some other things. He's now the starter.
The guy
trying to save Clay Helton's job.
He's clutch.
USC goes on the road to Arizona. They're giving up 14s. This is my 5-star millennial pick of the week. Why are you laughing? My 5-star millennials. I only missed once so far this week.
I'm just talking about Slovich, man. The guy's just clutch. Like
He is clutch. My 5-star millennial pick of the week is USC on a money line bet at Arizona. They're giving up 14. I'm taking them straight up minus the 14 points. They're minus 880 on the game. USC, this is a lock. They're going into Arizona. Kevin Sumlin is going to take a loss. I love USC in this game.
Yeah, I think USC is going to pull this out. I don't understand what's going on with Kevin Sumlin. I mean, to me, I think he needs to just go back to being an offensive coordinator, or he needs to step back down to another level.
It's not working out at Arizona.
It's not working out at all.
Yeah, for whatever reason. Let's go to a big game in the ACC. And I didn't think I'd be saying this at the beginning of the year as a game that I wanted to check out. Notre Dame coming off a huge primetime TV night game win against Clemson. Get the win in double overtime. Goes on the road to BC. You know, I love BC. Their head coach, have you seen this guy, Jeff Hafley?
Yeah,
I think he's got BC going in the right direction. I think they're 5-2 on the season. Here's the thing about Notre Dame or BC right now. They beat Duke, Texas State, Pitt, Georgia Tech, and then they get blown out by Virginia Tech, and they lose a close one to UNC. And they also lost a close game on the road at Clemson when Sunshine was playing. Oh, no, he wasn't playing in that game. Trevor Lawrence did not play in that game, right?
That was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, but he didn't play at Notre Dame. We thought he might have. It's because he missed that game.
Yeah.
So he wasn't in that game. He didn't play in that game, but BC still kept it close. I think Jeff Hafley is doing a great job in his first year at Boston College. I'm taking Notre Dame to win the game on a money line bet, but I'm not messing with that spread.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to take BC for the upset.
Upset outright.
Yeah,
because BC plays to the level of their competition, I think. If you look at their schedule, they play to the level of their competition.
Yeah, I'm taking Boston College for the upset. I think Boston College, they have that blue-collar defense. I mean, they're going to control the clock by running the ball.
Yep.
And I think that defense is just stout enough to stop Notre Dame from running the ball. And to me, Notre Dame, Ian Book hasn't proven to me that he can beat you with his arm. So I think that Boston College is actually going to pull off that win this weekend.
Hey, we'll see how it pans out. I think that's going to be a tough game. How about getting 17 points and your former starting quarterback, Felipe Franks, Arkansas, come into the swamp on Saturday, getting 17 points against a team in Florida who I think Dan Mullen is going to level them out after a big emotional win in a neutral site against a rival, almost ensuring them to go to Atlanta to play for the SEC East. It's not guaranteed. I'm actually taking Arkansas in the 17 points on this one. I'm going to tease it up and get 24. I think Arkansas's offense is just good enough to keep it close. I'm worried about a bounce back with Florida being on an emotional high, and then it's like, all right, we're coming home to play Arkansas. I believe in Dan Mullen. I think Florida gets the win, but I'm taking the 24 points.
I think Dan Mullen and Florida, I think the Florida players, I think they've probably been waiting to tee off on Felipe Franks for the longest. And I think that defense is going to tee off on Felipe Franks. I think Florida actually is going to blow Arkansas out this weekend.
I'm not willing to put a hat on it, but I respect your opinion. Colorado State tonight goes on the road. No, I'm saying that's tomorrow night. Colorado State at Boise. Boise is laying 14 points. I'm taking Colorado State. Boise just got bombed last week, 51-17 at home by BYU. I think they might have a bounce-back game, but I think it's going to be close. Colorado State's getting 14. I'll tease it up and take the 20.
Yeah, well, I think Colorado State, I think they'll pull that out against
really?
Boise. Yeah,
Outright upset.
Outright upset.
All right, let's finish it up here. Number 19, SMU, 7-1, goes on the road. They're getting 3 points at Tulsa, and they're 7-1. Sonny Dykes has that offense hitting on all cylinders. I'm taking SMU plus the points on that one.
Yeah, it's Tulsa though, man. You can't bet against Tulsa. It doesn't matter who it is.
Small sample size, man.
I know, but I mean, Tulsa's like that same team that always beats like UCF, who's always that high-powered offense. I think this one, if SMU's not careful, I think I'm gonna go with Tulsa.
Okay. Number 13, Wisconsin finally leaves Camp Randall, goes on the road. They're going to Michigan, who is I can't even talk about Michigan anymore. I'm about ready to take that helmet down in 5 seconds. They're so inconsistent. Here's the thing. Wisconsin is ranked 13th in the country. I know they just lost their quarterback, so they're going to have to go with the backup, but they're getting 5 points. I got to take the 5 points even though it's a road game. I'm taking Wisconsin +5 on the road at Michigan.
Yeah, I'm taking Wisconsin in that game too. To me, Harbaugh, his quarterback play, they don't have it. So I mean, the fact that
No running game,
nothing. So I'm
Charbonneau was supposed to be the answer this year.
Exactly.
He played, good time last year. He's 6'2". He's over 200 pounds. He's got speed, but they cannot get a running game going in Michigan. Therefore, they cannot get their offense going. I think whatever they did against Minnesota that week 1 was a fantasy.
Yeah, to me it was fluke.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just don't see how Harbaugh can get this offense going. And to me, this is going to be his telltale, whether he's there next year or not.
Oh, you've already got to start. We were talking about last year. You guys put him on the hot seat, and he's not on the hot seat for some reason. He loses last week on the road in Indiana inexplicably. I can't even figure that out. I've got more than 2 brain cells trying to have sex reproducing. I can figure out he's on the hot seat. He loses this game. Yeah. That's it. I mean, you're gone, man. It's like, you've spent up your 50, your 2 cents worth of input and your 9 lives from a cat. It's over.
Yep.
No more. Last game on the docket. Your Florida State Seminoles are getting 10 points on the road at NC State, who's scraping the bottom of the barrel in the ACC. And how much worse can it get? You got 4 of your top players. These aren't bench guys. 4 of your top players are not going to be playing for the rest of the season. Now you got to go on the road and take on NC State, who's not even that great, and you're getting 10 points on top of that.
Well, Ryan, as I told you earlier this season, we have to go to a youth movement. I mean, because right now,
what happened to Mike Norville changing the culture of thinking?
Exactly, we have to go to.
What happened to it?
It's not obviously nothing's changed. So you have to go to a youth movement. We know Chuba Purdy is going to be the quarterback of the future, so you might as well go ahead and start him out there. Hopefully, we can get better offensive line play somewhat, and we just have to go from there.
I know. We'll see. I'm not excited to see any of Florida State's games. I really wish that they'd be playing Florida because I want to see them getting blown out. Let's take a break and thank all of our almost 2,000 subscribers. We want to thank every single one of you. Half of you we've actually probably met. But that is so awesome. If you haven't hit the subscribe button right now and you're new to the show, hit it. Then move a little farther over and hit that notification button. It'll let you know every single week when we put out new material. If you've missed any part of this show or other shows, go ahead and check out our archive videos on YouTube. We are here putting out 2 live shows every single week. And thank you so much to all of you who comment in email and want to be a part of the team. That's great. You can reach us here at thefirstraundrd@gmail.com. And having said that, in the next week or so, we're probably going to hit 2,000.
Yeah.
Now, when we started, the first week we started the show, we had 6 subscribers, which 5 of them were probably our family members.
Right.
And we had 8 views.
Yeah.
Last week, we had over 5,000 views in less than a year because we took a good 6 months off.
Right.
And we're about to hit 2,000 subscribers.
Yes.
That's why he's the best, folks, right there.
Yes.
He's like Ed McMahon. Yes, oh wise one.
But
your numbers are correct.
But yeah, no, it just comes down, to hard work, dedication. A lot of times we were sitting out on campus trying to canvas, to get students, to look at our shows, man, and just look at where we are right now, man. Feel good, man.
Yeah, it does feel good. It's amazing, man. We try to put a lot into the show every single week, whether it's our content or the quality of the show or the production value or our sets or everything. We got a couple new helmets.
Yeah.
The Retro Chargers helmet. I grew up in San Diego, so I'm like a Fouts, John Jefferson, Chuck Muncie, Eric Coryell, but, the Green Bay helmet. I know Zach can't wait for us to get the, you could buy a mini helmet if you wanted to donate to the cause here. We'll put a Steelers one up here. And then we have the all-time greatest NFL team of all. They should be in the front, actually, the Patriots up there.
It's crazy because, I don't need to have this team represented on the show. It'd be cool, but, our 6 Super Bowls do the representing for us.
Hey, I got the terrible towel for you there.
Hey,
I'm not hating. In the last 20 years, though, I think we know who's been singing the tune in the NFL and going to the NFL. How about if I said there's a record that Tom Brady and Ben Roethlisberger are going to break in the NFL probably this weekend? Either of you guys know what that might be?
Not at all.
No idea. Chris?
Probably the oldest guys to throw touchdown passes or something.
No. They're both sitting at 513 what? Sacks.
Oh,
They've both been sacked 513 times. They're in second. They're actually in third place right now, tied for third. John Elway got sacked 516 times, and Brett Favre was number one at 525. So both of them are probably going to have that record broken this weekend. Maybe not this weekend with Ben, but
I find that hard to believe that Tom Brady got to that.
Yeah.
The amount of time. I mean, because Roethlisberger, he stays in the pocket to extend plays.
Yeah.
Brady, he throws the ball away whenever a fly is about to come get him.
Yeah, that's true. And I wouldn't have thought Ben had that many sacks myself because he's such a big guy and hard to take down.
I'm confused. Why is it that Brett Favre, he always has like this negative thing about him? I mean, he threw the most interceptions. I mean, now you told me he has the most sacks.
Yeah, he got sacked the most times.
Like seriously, what is all the hype about Brett Favre? I'm still trying to figure that out.
Well, he had the comments about, Wentz this weekend, and Peterson in Philadelphia had to come to his own quarterback's defense about how they should have kept Nick Foles. But whenever Brett Favre comes up in the news post-retirement, it's usually something negative going on, or he has some negative input or whatever. Let's keep it positive. Big things that we take away from last weekend in the NFL real quick. Let's shoot this really quickly. For me, it's got to be Buffalo taking down Seattle. I was surprised at that.
Yes.
44-34. The biggest thing in this, Josh Allen goes for like 400 and what? 15 yards? 415 yards against Seattle. That's one of my big positive takeaways. How about New Orleans absolutely destroying Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
You stick a pin in that division.
22 for 38 for Tom Brady, 209 yards, 3 interceptions. Here's the absolute stat of the week. You ready for this? Tampa Bay only had 4 rushing attempts the whole game.
That sucks.
That is not going to get it done against a Sean Payton coach team.
And not just that, but for you fantasy players out there, my opponent at halftime, Tom Brady only had 0.8 points for fantasy.
Is it done?
That is absolutely abysmal. 0.8 points, like, I'm sorry, but
you stepped on the field.
DiNucci can get that, and Ben DiNucci for the Cowboys could have gotten that, man.
So
tell me about it. I mean, I had AB and I had
you had AB
and I had Chris Godwin as well, and I mean both of those guys scored like maybe 8 points.
Is it reached the point with Tom Brady? And this is not sour grapes because he left New England. This is just straight sports talk, keeping it real. Is it time that we start talking about it's done? Because Father Time has finally caught up to him.
Yeah, I think Father Time has finally caught up with Brady. Because now you look at Brady. You say he left New England because I finally want to get a team that will actually get me weapons.
Right.
Well, you have weapons.
Tons of weapons.
You have tons of weapons.
Right.
You can't get to those weapons.
How do you go in 22 for 38 for 209 yards and 3 interceptions? It's not like the Saints have the most lockdown defense in the NFL.
And so I'm sitting here looking, and it's this meme that keeps going around with Jameis Winston saying, "See, it's not me." So it's like, what do you do, Tom? We finally give you weapons. We give you Grunt as your safety blanket.
I know, but I told you at the beginning of the season that's a blocking move.
I understand.
He's not putting up. I think he's got 2 touchdowns on the year.
Right. So, but I'm saying, we give you Grunt as your safety blanket. That's somebody that you took from New England. Okay, we go back. We give you AB finally. We give you Chris Godwin, who's the same thing. It's probably the same type of player as AB.
No, he's got no excuses.
And then on top of that, we give you a big receiver with Mike Evans.
Right.
So it's like, okay, so what is it?
What is it now?
Right. And then we give you Fournette as a running back.
Right. What?
And also LaShawn McCoy, Fournette and LaShawn McCoy too. You forgot those 2 running back weapons. Like LaShawn McCoy is supposed to be a good 3rd down back, and then you have Fournette for the first 2 downs, and they haven't utilized.
Still not
either.
happening. And we had somebody on the set, and I know who we're talking about, that was just talking about how great Tampa Bay was going to be, and I was saying, look, not only do you have to pump the brakes, take them out, stop trying to use them. This isn't happening. And now it's coming to fruition. Let's get to the big games of the week, if you could call them big games this week in the NFL. Houston going on the road to Cleveland. Cleveland's given 3 points. I'm taking Houston.
Yeah, I'm taking Houston.
All right, I'm gonna tease that one up and get 9 points. Another part of my NFL teaser special: Tampa Bay again going on the road to play a Carolina team. Carolina's getting 5.5. I tease it up. I'm getting 11. I love Carolina in this game.
Now I think this is a bounce back game. I mean, I don't know how
And
healthy.
it could be. You're right.
And I think cause you don't know how healthy McCaffrey is, with that shoulder injury. So
Yep, I don't know.
Yeah, so with McCaffrey being kind of injured, I think Tampa Bay gets it done this week.
Okay, for a team that's floundering as bad as Los Angeles is and Anthony Lynn, why do I think this is going to be a close game when they go on the road to play a surging Miami Fish? The Fish. Brian Flores has them going in the right direction. I said that at the end of last season.
Yeah.
They were in the tank. I said the end of last season they were playing good. They're actually probably the second or third best team in the division. The Patriots and the Jets are third and fourth.
Right.
And that's what it's turning out to be because the Fish aren't a joke. They're actually playing tough. They went on the road to San Francisco, got a big win. Fish are laying 2.5. I'm not calling this game.
Yeah, the way Tua's been playing, I mean, Tua is it's like he just stepped from Alabama into like another starting role at another team. I think that Tua's actually able to get it done because I just don't have faith in in the Chargers. I just don't.
I don't either. Here's another one that's inexplicable to me. The Bills are a solid team, a top 10 team, you'd say, in the NFL.
Yes.
They get a huge win at home against Seattle, 44-34. Now they got to go on the road and play Arizona. Arizona's giving 2 points. What is going on with that line?
I don't know, but I'm going with the Bills to get it done. That Bills defense is, I mean, it's tough, man.
And it's been tough.
Yeah.
Who's their coach? Sean McDermott?
Sean McDermott.
Yeah.
Sean
I
McDermott
think
turned them
so.
around 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
But the thing is about that Bills game last week, the Seahawks defense this year is historically bad. So the Bills took advantage
Are they as bad as anybody in the NFC East?
Historically bad.
NFC Dallas?
Worse than Dallas's defense. They're giving up the most pass yards right now.
All right,
Or
let's
either
keep
second most or the first most. So
Let's
the Bills
keep it
pick
going
up
with
that.
our last 2 picks on the weekend. San Francisco goes on the road to New Orleans. New Orleans is given 2 points. I'm taking New Orleans on my teaser package. I'm getting New Orleans +4. I got New Orleans. I got them at home. I got one of the best quarterbacks, a top 10 quarterback. I got one of the best top 3 coaches in the league in Sean Payton. They're playing at home. I'm getting over 3 points. I'm taking it all day.
Yeah, I'm taking New Orleans because they also get back Emmanuel Sanders, who has some making up things to do.
Yeah,
so,
wide receiver.
That wide receiver, yeah. So I mean, you get your top wide receiver back with Mike Mike Williams.
No,
Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas. There you go, Michael Thomas. You get Michael Thomas back. Then you get Emmanuel
on the
Sanders
other side.
back.
And then you got Alvin Kamara.
And then you got Kamara back.
Jared Cook got tied in.
Jared Cook, right.
Yep.
So, I mean, yeah, I think it's New Orleans all day.
All right, 6-2 Seattle, coming off that hard loss at Orchard Park in New York against the Bills, goes on the road to the Rams. It's just 5 minutes down the freeway for them. Rams are giving 2 points. I'm taking Seattle on a teaser and getting 8. I get over a touchdown. And I get Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
I'm taking Seattle plus the 8 on a teaser. My teaser package is loaded this weekend.
Yeah, I think Seattle has a bounce back game this week. I think Russell Wilson, he had a few turnovers last week, but I think they bounced back this week.
All right, let's go on to other things going on in the world of sports. I want to hit up boxing. Mike Tyson at 54 taking on Roy Jones Jr. Tyson hasn't been in the ring since 2005. It's happening on the 28th. What do you expect in 30 seconds or less?
I expect Mike Tyson to actually win this fight and then be over in round 4.
Really? I'm taking Roy Jones because I think technical, he's going to wear him down and tire him out. Both these guys have pride. They both want to win. I think the smarter fighter is going to beat the bull. And at 54, I don't know how much is in the gas tank. I've seen the videos of Mike, but those are 2-minute videos, and we're talking about 3 rounds at 8 is 24. You're talking about half an hour. I don't know what kind of shape he's in, but I think it's going to be good. It's on pay-per-view. I can't tell you one other fight that's happening on that card, and I looked for about 20 minutes today. Whoever's promoting this, I don't know. Let's get in real quick to NBA news. Isaiah Thomas comes out on Shannon Sharp's Club Shay Shay podcast this week and was asked the question, name the 5 toughest players that you played against while you were in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who's at number 5? Did you see the list?
No, I did not.
Who's at number? Actually, let's go the other way. Who's at number 1? The toughest player that he faced, Isaiah Thomas. Who do you think it is?
Oh, toughest player. I would say it has to be somebody like Larry Bird.
Larry Bird's actually at number 2. He put Julius Erving.
Oh, wow.
The toughest player? Julius Erving was
J.
awesome. He was an innovator. He did a lot to resurge the NBA when it was slipping just before Larry and Magic took over and really brought the NBA back. But defensively, he was kind of a liability, and he is a Hall of Famer. He's a top 50 player. I'm not taking any credit away. But one of the toughest players, you got him listed at number 1?
Dr. J? I mean, only thing I don't remember Dr. J for is like dunks. I mean, I don't remember him from... I don't remember him like chasing down blocks like LeBron or anything. So
again, this is Isaiah Thomas we're talking about, not you and I, intelligent sports people. Okay, he's got Julius Erving at number one. He's got Larry Legend at 2. That I can understand. They played a lot. They were in the Eastern Conference. There was a lot of battles, and Larry's one of the top 10 players. Nobody's going to dispute that. Might be in the top 5.
Right.
Great shooter, super awesome basketball mind, great passer, awesome from 3-point, awesome from the free throw line, over 98%. I can't argue with that. Kareem at 3, Magic at 4. Who's he got at 5? You're not ever going to believe. Who's he got? Either of you guys. Isaiah Thomas, the toughest player he ever faced. Notice he hasn't said MJ yet.
I see that.
Who's he got at 5? You're not going to believe this.
Man, he better not come out with no Scottie Pippen or nobody like that.
It's not Scottie Pippen. You got one chance, Zach.
Charles Barkley.
Nope. He's got MJ at 5. MJ at 5. Now, I'm going to explain to you why this is the last 2 brain cells in Isaiah Thomas's head that are working. He was left off of the 1992 Dream Team.
Yeah.
Okay, who are you going to replace him with? You had Christian Laettner, so he's a center. You had Larry Magic, MJ, David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, Scottie Pippen. I'm not trading Scottie Pippen for Isaiah. I'm not trading Drexler. I'm not trading Malone. I'm not trading Barkley. I'm not trading John Stockton, who's arguably one of the best point guards ever, all-time assist leader. And then it could be Chris Mullins. He's the only guy on the 92 Dream Team that you could trade. If I was going to say, if you're going to trade anybody on that team, it would be Chris Mullins. But listen to this. Isaiah Thomas is 6'1". Chris Mullins is 6'7". They can both play point guard. In the 92 Dream Team run, he was 5th on the team in field goals. He was 5th on the team in assists. He was 3rd on the team with steals, and he was 3rd in points per game scored. And he wasn't even a starter. So you got to take all that away from the Dream Team to put Isaiah Thomas up there, who's 6'1", not a good chemistry guy. But that's just all the analytics, right? Those are all the numbers that we're talking about. And we're not talking about other factors. Here's the real reason why he wasn't on the Dream Team, which is getting to my bigger point. The real reason why, and by the way, you know who put this team, part of this team together? Chuck Daly and Mike Krzyzewski are the guys that put this together. But give me 1 second. In the 2012 book Dream Team by Jack McCullum, he cited that the Olympic selection team head, Rob Thorne, quoted MJ as saying to him, he told Rob Thorne, MJ said, "I don't want to play if Isaiah's on the team." Now, this goes back to the bad boys, Jordan rules, beating him up. And he said, you know what? If he's on the team, I'm not going to be on. Now it's between MJ and Isaiah on the Dream Team, and who are you going to select? Bye.
Of course it's going to be Michael.
So you think Isaiah has an attitude when he's asked the top players of all time and he puts MJ 5? Like, are you out of your lobotomized mind?
Yeah, I mean, seriously. I mean,
5th?
Yeah, but again, if you go back to that team. See, a lot of people don't understand. Chris Mullin was a underrated player. He just happened to play at Golden State.
Absolutely.
When Golden State wasn't really that good.
I remember when Chris Mullin was good at St. John's.
Exactly. So, I mean, and that's the point. Like, a lot of people don't realize Chris Mullin was really a very good basketball player because he played on a bad Golden State team.
Isaiah Thomas's argument doesn't stand up if you want to put him against Chris Mullin. It doesn't stand up when you look at the analytics and the actual numbers. And it doesn't stand up because he got bent, that he got not brought on to the 92 Dream Team, and MJ was the reason. So now he's going to say MJ was the 5th hardest and most difficult player that he played against? Get the hell off of my planet, man. Are you out of your stupid mind? I mean, Chuck Daly and Mike Krzyzewski are like the smartest guys in the last 30 years to be playing, and I might put Popovich up there.
Right.
And they didn't allow that. They could have overrode something, and they didn't allow it. We got to move on because we got to wrap up the show. Let's move on to other NBA news. Russell Westbrook and James Harden are out in Houston. That's what the internet is saying. That's what the blogs are saying. And that's pretty much what these guys are saying because Houston has tried to get a hold of James Harden several times, according to ESPN. He's not answering the phone call coming from the Rockets. I think both these guys are gone. With Daryl Morey leaving as GM last week, they lost Clint Capella last year. I don't think it's happening. It hasn't worked with James Harden being there. Scrap the whole project. You got to catch up to LA. You got to catch up to Denver. There's 9 million teams in front of you. Get what you can for these guys and start rebuilding. 10 seconds, go.
Keep James Harden. Westbrook can go wherever he needs to go. I mean, Westbrook hasn't worked out anywhere where he's played at. So
No.
Keep James Harden, let him be the heart of your team.
No.
And keep it moving.
No. Both the guys got to go. Chris, tell us what else is going on in the world of sports.
In the world of sports, it's sad. When every time we see a player actually have to retire due to unspecified situations, and I mean it's no different from today. We have Journey Brown from Penn State who actually is retiring from football. The running back. Due to a heart condition, and it's sad that he has to give up on his dreams in regards to playing football, but at the same time, it's health before wealth. I'm sorry, young man, but good luck in your future endeavors.
There you go. That is a great story. Just because health goes over wealth, like you said, and he's a character guy, that music can mean only one thing. It's time to thank our support staff, the man on the board, the Steelers' biggest fan in North Central Florida. Zach doing a great job for us. The man on my left who's been with me for over a year now, Chris Roberts. El Presidente, Chet 40 for all of us here at the first round. Thank you for subscribing. Make part of your week here with us in the First Round Studios, which will be in new ones in the next month and a half or so. It's going to be awesome. Subscribe today. Hit the notification button. Become a part of the family. We'll be right back here on YouTube talking about everything going on in the world of sports next week. Until then, take care, everybody.